Hello everyone, welcome back. And this episode of Bitcoin Trade, I'm going to go over some recent news and the aftermath of Mt. Gox. And I recently met with my miner, and this person is really a miner. Has a mining rig set up and all that stuff. Anyways, I met with them because excuse me. I met with him because I did need some bitcoins, and so if you're ever, it's been a while since I brought this up, but if you're ever fortunate enough to come across a miner, um, or even a mining pool, um, it's a great way to get bitcoins if you ever get a freeze on liquidity for whatever reason. So if you need bitcoins, the miners are there to sell you bitcoins because uh, they got overhead, they got cost. They need to convert their bitcoins to money so they can pay their bills. All right. So I did have a chance to meet with my miner, and we spoke, kind of talked about what's going on in Mount Gox, their problem over there, and all that. And we talked a little bit about. Um, he gives me information on the, you know, mining side, the computer side, and all that. I kind of give him information on what's going out here in the world, in the real world, and this is where the two uh, converge together. That makes kind of Bitcoin work. So I'll tell you what happened. And if you notice here, this is I've had to rearrange my charts. I'm gonna have to go with the way these are set up now. We got Bitstamp, and we got Bitsy, and we got Mt. Gox, and amazingly, they're still moving. Not a lot, but they're moving. But I'll take a look at all three. Don't worry. I'll do a chart analysis, but a little bit later. But let's go over some headlines because they're going to relate to some of the things I'm going to talk about with you. And here's one of the headlines I'm seeing is uh, whatever is going on. And I did experience this during the day, right before I was about to meet my miner. And um, good thing about Bitcoin is you can have several wallets at many exchanges that are out there, as well as any just other wallets. Period. Cold storage, or online, or whatever, or even they got wallets that you can put on your tablets, smartphones, or whatever, and they're somewhat of a semi-cold storage, I guess. Um, so there's other ways you can have them, and of course, if you're fortunate enough to know a miner or a mining pool, you can always go there. Um, if you're fortunate enough. Remember, I told you you don't find them, they find you, because you got to be legitimate. They have to feel comfortable, working with you. Um, if if they don't feel comfortable at all, I mean um, you'll never get a chance. That's what I can say. But let's go and talk about this. So um, I guess this was going on at the time, and when we were meeting and talking and everything, and but I did notice that I was having a problem with the Bitstamp at the time before I met with them, and I was like, wow, this is strange. Um, so I'm actually trading in other exchanges now, and so he and when I talked to them, I kind of mentioned about the whole thing in Florida, and I said, hey, you shouldn't do any business in Florida, or if you know anybody in Florida, you should be telling them watch to be kind of careful there. he I guess he didn't look into it that much until um, maybe he did before I met up with him. So I'm in Houston, and so he was gonna look into that on the Houston side to see what's going on. That'd be interesting. He said he would publish a paper or something like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. But anyways, yeah, this is really interesting. What's going on here. So let me see another headline here. Um, there's some more. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. This is I read this article here, and let's see who the author is. There's the author and the date. Okay, and it's Reuters here. So, um, and when you start reading this, you'll see the first part, and it looks like it's kind of like a stage prepared statement here, because when you go to the other ones, it's actually almost word for word. It's kind of like just hey, someone wrote this up and said, hey, put this out in the wire, and it just goes out. So I guess the power of communication. This is how we're going to receive information as a general public. With, I guess, in this case, would be just overall what's going on, and then in this particular article, it just talks about the denial service, and this one in particular also goes down, and you know, hopefully we still have free press in this country, which I hope we do, but there's other information about oh, there he goes, more new moves by regulators, and talking about Canada, talking about things that have happened in Washington, or not Washington, New York, just all sorts of things here, and it'll be interesting to see what happens, and apparently somewhere around maybe in the spring or in the summer, because right now it's just way too cold to do anything. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I'm in Houston, and I'm cold. I'm not used to this weather. Matter of fact, I think Atlanta is gonna get a freeze over, and I know they're freaking out. So, anyways, so that's interesting if you have a chance to read this article. There's something here that I read that I don't know what it means. Maybe someone can tell me what this is. They're talking about tumblers. So if you read this article, the question to ban or restrict the use of tumblers, which obscure the record and source of virtual currencies. Tumblers are a concern to law enforcement, but they might also have legitimate uses. I don't even know what a tumbler is, but if anybody else out there knows what it is, I tried looking it up, but I couldn't find anything that made sense at this. Excuse me, I got feels like a little cold here, so. But let's take a look here, and it's very interesting. So people who trade in Bitcoin, just trying to keep you guys up to date, because I was surprised that when I met with my miner today, he had no idea about any of this stuff going on, or I'm not sure he had no idea, but he just was a little surprised about it. So I kind of informed him that I've been, all I do is trade 24/7, and I'm speculating based on news and price action and just all sorts of stuff, covering my position in trades, when to buy, when to sell, when to meet my miner. All this stuff goes in, to what I do, and so it's kind of really important. If you're going to be a serious trader, you got to stay up with what's going on, and on top of that, this is a good way to prevent yourself from getting into trouble by understanding the changes in maybe new regulation or current regulations, um, or just understanding current regulation, how it applies to Bitcoin. Okay, so it's Bitcoin is not um, um, it's not nothing anymore. It's something now. So you can't we all cannot uh, claim stupidity anymore. Um, so that's I kind of just been saying that all the time. You can't stupidity is not a good defense, um, people. All right. So um, so as this gets more serious, um, I'll probably get a little bit more serious as well. I'm probably gonna have to uh, talk to my accountant and my lawyer to see what this could be, um, how I could work within a legal framework, because apparently you can do all this stuff with U.S. dollars too. So it's not anything new. It's just that the exchange, the medium of exchange, is radically different because it's not controlled by the government. It's not controlled by the banking system. It's independent. It's flowing. It's alive by it's almost like a spontaneous generation. I don't know how to say it. It just started something, and it just grew and grew and grew and just kept on growing. And then like anything that grows, it always has growing pains, but it just keeps on growing. And I don't know, I'm caught up in it. All right. And so this is just good information for you. And let's go on to the next headlines here. Yeah, same thing. I just wanted to make a note that it just seems like it came out on the wire and just said send it out. So now this is another one, another headline. Another bank weighs in on Bitcoin, and of course it's basically the report says that it's not good news for Bitcoin. Of course, we've people who trade in Bitcoin understand that it's always been bad news for banks, to talk about Bitcoin. So they take the time to read the article. There's a lot of things in there that this gentleman talks about in his view of Bitcoin, and to some degree this guy is totally right, because you know if for me it talks about all the reasons why paper money is way better than Bitcoin and everything, and he's absolutely right on all these things, because I still use U.S. dollars. I still use you know money when all my other options of using Bitcoin is exhausted. I'll try to convert my Bitcoins into, guess what, U.S. dollars, since I live in America, and then with the U.S. dollars I can um, legally legal tender. I mean, basically give someone this money, and they have to excuse me, and they have to take it for exchange for any goods or services. Okay, they can't say, well, I'm not gonna. What's a Bitcoin? I don't know what that is, but I don't want it. They can't say money. What's that? I don't want it. They have to take it. So money's good for the country that you're in. Okay, it's legal tender. I have no problem with that. I love money because I need legal tender to buy stuff. Okay, if they don't take Bitcoins, I'm going to convert my Bitcoin to a legal tender. But the thing is, the point is, it's not about whether fiat currency is sound or not. I really don't care. Okay, I don't care whether printing money printing is a sound uh, you know way of operating an economy. I don't care. What I do care about is, man, I want that what do I need to give you to get that? You know, because I'm not into violence. I'm not a criminal. Um, I don't, I don't, I don't think it's right for me to just to take some other person's property because I just can. I want to know what they would like to exchange for it, and legally they have to take money. All right, they have to take that legal tender, accepted everywhere, and I'll do it. But the problem is each country has their own, you know, legal tender. So, um, where Bitcoin comes in, it comes into an international play. Um, and I'm not talking about, you know, I guess to some degree, if you want to buy something for a couple $100 here and there, you could do that with Bitcoin on a retail level, if it gets to that point. But I'm talking about on an international level where you're transferring millions, billions of dollars. You know, I don't know about billions. I don't know if anybody has that much, but at least a large sum where if you want something in that country and they accept that Bitcoin, or if they accept or if somebody else accept that Bitcoin in that country's currency, and they allow you to invest into that country, I mean, why not? Um, that's what I'm talking about. I'm a little bit larger scale in my opinion, but um, all the things he talks about is absolutely right. But this is this is how I feel about money as well. I feel the same things that this guy feels about Bitcoin, about fiat currencies, but I also understand Bitcoin is the same thing. So it's kind of interesting, but the volatility aspect. He talks specifically about volatility, and um, for a, I guess for someone who's a banker, um, or your retail customer or something like that, it's weird to see those price volatilities. Um, but you gotta, being an investor, in some sense means you're taking a risk, which basically means you're taking a gamble for the most part. But if you say you're an investor, it sounds illegal. Um, but you're essentially taking a risk that you may not get your money back, or you will get your money back and then some. So that's you know for me, the volatility, I love the volatility. As long as the price moves up and down, um, I'm buying and selling all the time. You know, that's for me. That's what a trader does. Um, anyways, so there's a lot of things here that I totally agree with him, because I use fiat currency. I don't have a problem with fiat currency. I think the reason why Bitcoin exists is because money printing. If they stop printing money, I tell you, Bitcoin would probably not do much. Um, so, anyways, no problems with what he said. I totally agree. And on top of that, I understand where this guy's coming from. So, anyways, take time to read this article. I mean, let me see here. Where is it? Okay, there's the article on the Money Beat. It should be on the Bit Beat. I thought it was supposed to be Bit Beat. But anyways, where's the? Oh, there he is. There's the name, the author, the date, and the title. Sorry, I'll back up a little bit. So, and let me see here. Is there one more? Okay, yeah. Here you go. This is also a new one, and I think this one's specifically for Canada. And Canada has a pretty robust Bitcoin community out there. I mean, they got ATMs and stuff. I might actually go to Canada. Um, I don't know, in the summer, not in the winter. Maybe if I go snowing, I'll go in the winter, but who knows? I might make a business trip up there. Why not? Um, write it off as a business trip. So there it is. and they keep showing pictures of coins. Um, but you know, they're out there. All right, so it's Ottawa. I don't know anything about Canada. I have no idea uh, how Canada came into existence. I'm not Canadian. I do have a joke though. Um, how did I'll just say it, and you know, I'll just say the joke, okay? How did Canadians come up with Canada? Well, CANADA. Anybody get that joke? Okay. Well, anyways, that was my joke for the whole episode of Bitcoin trade. So they're talking about trying to, you know, address Bitcoin as um, anti-money laundering and anti-terrorist financing regulations. So they're worried about terrorists and criminals. I can understand the criminal part about it because it was pretty apparent with Silk Road. I don't know about terrorist. Um, I don't know if there's a Terra coin floating around. I highly doubt it, but I don't know. I haven't seen any evidence of this or know of any evidence of this. But maybe that's the point. I'm not supposed to know. Okay, so yeah, good, good. I do know one thing. You know, if someone tries to you know, steal your bitcoins or scam you a bitcoin or scam your money, really, you know the thing is, if someone, when you do an exchange, right, and someone's buying something from you, someone's buying a bitcoin, and then they reverse the transaction, or something weird happens like that, um, you know, if you're a legitimate business that trades in bitcoin and something weird happens in your transaction, um, just say terrorist. Oh my God, I think they're terrorists. I don't know why they would steal my bitcoin or they steal my money, or tell them they're criminals and they're probably laundering money. And then you know, whatever scammer or criminal, you know, try to stiff you of money or bitcoins, you know, they'll I bet you they're going to be sorry they ever did that, because they're going to have these people all over them. Um, you know, last thing you want to be is just red flagged. Where your whole life is red flagged. Wherever you go, you're just red flagged. Okay, let's see what else. Yeah, casinos. It looks like they're going to crack down on some of the casinos and all that. Um, Let me see, what else are they going to crack down on? Charities too. Wow. So they're going to crack down on charities. I don't know how serious they are, but again, I don't know how feasible it is, or how much sense it makes to stop it. But anyways, that's the end of this. I guess it would be a news report off of other people's articles. But anyways, let's go to a chart. Let's see what's going on here. I don't have no lines on this or nothing, but I'm a little surprised that it's weakening out. And this is Bitstamp, so it's getting weak. The price action is getting weaker, and that may be due to the closures or the issue with withdrawals. I don't know if it's a continuation of. I don't know if they're having withdrawal issues here to now. I don't know yet. I could try to test it out to see if anything goes in or out or whatever. So I'll test it out and confirm if there is any issue or not. But so far, I'm gonna take a day, and there's no lines on this, so I'm just gonna take a look at it right here. And if you take a look at just the lines right here like that, this could be a good stop right here. Out of all the indices, Bitstamp has been proven to be stable. Um, it just has. I mean, it's done pretty good. So now that things have flipped around, uh, guess what I'm gonna do? Bitstamp's my highest price, and guess what? I'm selling Bitstamp price, and now buying at Mt. Gox price. Kind of weird how that works out. I'm not getting a lot of sellers, but I'm definitely getting a lot of buyers. Um, so the reason I had to meet my miner was because I was getting a very high demand. So uh, the problem with the closure or the withdrawal issue with Mt. Gox or any of the exchanges, and then also I've been getting a lot of inquiries about, how do people buy Bitcoin from me and all this stuff. Excuse me. And so, and they're telling me all this problems they're having. The usual places they go to, they're not able to get Bitcoin, so it's getting harder and harder to get Bitcoins. Um, and I just had a high demand, and the price of Bitcoin on top of that is going down, and so people are just, it doesn't show in the exchanges, of course, but in the real world, in the main streets, and to some degree Wall Streets, right? And I'm not talking about street on a corner. I'm talking about the concept of of people who are using Bitcoin, Main Street, as a form of payment method, money, whatever. Uh, your Main Street investors, and then to some degree Wall Street, as in people who are uh, they understand what an asset class is. They understand how owning that asset class and being able to move it around um, can be useful. Um, so uh, I've gotten a lot of inquiries and a lot of demand all of a sudden. I was like, wow, it just came out of nowhere, and it came after Monday. After the Mt. Gox announced it's not sending Bitcoin withdrawals, and so um, then that's the reason I had to meet my miner, and on top of that, I had to get more Bitcoins. So and that's why I met with him, and first thing I asked him, was, "Are you still in business?" And the answer was yes. Apparently, these miners and mining pools, they got a lot of Bitcoin, and they got cost. They got machines and all that, so they got you know they got debt, I guess, or well, I don't know if they got debt, but they got cost, and they have operating cost, real overhead operating cost. So anyways, and they're more than happy to sell at almost any price, whether price goes up or down. um, they they can get Bitcoins. um, so anyways, um, so I met with him, and you know um, purchased the Bitcoins, and basically put them out to the market. And I couldn't believe how fast they were going. It was like, um, you know, and I could see why the places that they were going, why they stopped, because what I've also noticed is that a lot of businesses, like retail businesses, uh, or coin shops, literally stopped offering Bitcoin or other these little Bitcoin uh, uh, websites where you would deposit money and then they send you the Bitcoin, like an actual website. Um, they all kind of stopped, and I think they're pausing because they're probably thinking, wow, um, what's uh, am I going to be next? So and maybe rightfully so, because they're not supposed to be quite doing that. Um, I've been taking the stance following the guidelines uh, that recently came out as a investor, user, miner. You know, go to my episode, take a look at it. You'll see the whole thing. So I'm taking that approach, and I'm kind of using my current bank, but I'm looking for another bank that understands what I'm doing here, and what I'm doing is legitimate, and I need, you know, uh, banks are, believe it or not, a very safe place to deposit your money. I don't know how to say that. I mean, I know it came out kind of weird, but banks are really a safe place to deposit your money. They really are. Some banks are stronger and some banks are weaker, in my opinion, on the strength of their security and and probably their finance to some degree. Okay, so so finding the right bank is really key in doing this because you know I still deal in fiat currency. Um, that's a legal tender. If I wanna buy a house, unless someone's willing to take it in Bitcoin, or there's a you know if I can't get someone to take Bitcoins, I'm gonna have to convert my Bitcoins into a legal tender of some kind. Whether it's actually fiat money, or U.S. U.S. dollar electric instrument, um, or some some device, electric or paper, whatever. Uh, you know, so um, you just need to do that. And if you read the guidelines, it kind of says something about that. So, anyways, um, let's go on to another chart. So, this is the overall here. I have no idea how to read this chart. I'll be honest with you. With when it comes to news and events that the anything can happen. There's the looking at it. I mean, I'll try to do something here, but really it's hard because anything can just affect um, the news. I mean, look at that. That just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I could understand this. Maybe the top line here. I could see this. It's still downtrending and has not broken out of that downtrend. I could tell you that much. Um, Other than that, I will really have to wait and see a little bit more. I will trade. I am trading, um, mainly because I'm covering my positions, and as I'm buying in the real world, I'm also selling in the real world. I'm also buying and selling on the exchanges as well. Um, just to cover myself. Um, so, and again, I don't, this is a strange occurrence. Like the day after Mt. Gox announces its withdrawal halting, I get a burst of inquiries. Um, I don't know if Bitstamp continues with their problems, and Bitsy and any other exchange. Um, you're going to probably see a market where you're working with legitimate mining operators, um, with legitimate miners, and miners could be users, investors, or an actual miner. Um, so you're going to actually see more people go to that, and also maybe even more people go to using the banks to do that in a safe way. Um, so that's just my opinion, and from what I'm seeing, that's what's happening. As these exchanges are halting with their withdrawals, um, more people are doing live trades, like in-person, real-world trades. They're actually exchanging real money, um, for bitcoins in the real world, and um, and they're trying to do it in a safe way, and using the banks to do it. Using a check or cash deposit or something, and some way that also that the banks themselves and the regulators and anybody who's worried about money laundering can also see what's going on. So with that in mind, it, it it's just another you know day in the life of a person who trades for the most part. Um, Business as usual being conducted. I mean, legitimate business as usual being conducted. All right, let me put it that way. So, anyways, I do see a little. I don't know if you've been watching my pin, but I'm just trying to see if there's a little, maybe um, a channel to look for, and there could be a channel right here. So you could play off the channels here. You can see if you could see a channel forming here. So this is Bitstamp, and sorry if this is too long, but it's been a while since I've done anything. And oh, this is another thing I talked to my miner. I said, hey, did you see that? Did you see that big sell-off at Bitsy? And I'm not sure if he probably doesn't do any of this. He literally he just buys it, you know, um, whatever, and then he just resells it. I mean, so he's not even interested in trading really. Um, so or whatever. They're just interested in, they have no the miners and the mining pools have no interest in trading whatsoever. They don't even want to, they don't want to deal with the exchange. They just want to sell the bitcoins to pay off their overhead and whatever money they have, they're happy to get. And maybe some of the smaller miners with mining rigs, maybe they'll trade. But he didn't even know what this. He had no idea about this. And when I told him, yeah, I saw the price go down to almost 100. And if anybody had any buys in here, I mean, they instantly made money. It just dropped and just bam. And that was one hell of a. I don't know if that was one person or if this was just a cascade going on, but as I go into the 15 and a half hour, I mean, it looks like literally looks like this one half-hour period just for half an hour just that was amazing. So that's why it's kind of hard to read this chart because every time I get into the 15-minute, it or okay, good, finally went out of the way because when it, I was when you get into 15-minute and this big thing goes down all the way to 100, it makes this look like little tiny. So anyways, let's back out. I was gonna back out. So this is almost doing the same thing. You can possibly put a channel, put a line up here, and then maybe put a line here. It looks like there's something here to follow that you can kind of see. So, and with this big thing, it's just unreadable. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, I guess if someone put a stop right around here at this level, let me see where that level would be. Gosh, it's even way below that. Okay, so basically, if you put your stop right around here somewhere, I doubt anybody actually knew that it would go down this far, but this doesn't even make any sense whatsoever. I don't know. That was wild. It was crazy. And then let's look at Mt. Gox. Oh, that's a 15-minute chart. And oh, look at that. Something recently happened here. Back down to 522. So let's give it a 12. Excuse me. Sorry if I'm coughing. I just have a frog in my throat or something. Okay, there we go. And there's good old Mt. Gox. I don't know if it's gonna die or what's happening with it, but it's basically I don't know. It may float right here for a while, and let's see how much longer it goes. It may eventually stop right around here. Maybe. I'm not sure. It's really struggling. So I'll keep documenting this. Well, until Mt. Gox dies and rest in peace and all that. But who knows? They may come back tomorrow. Maybe. You know, as long as they're up here, I'm still using them. I'm not gonna. I'm not. They're not being used as a high price anymore. They're being used as a low price. So, um, there it is. I'm using them as a low price. As long as they're here, they have, and the amount of bitcoins hasn't changed that much either. Let me see. That's not it. Oh, here it is. So, um, yeah, I don't know if this is going to be 30 days, but I guess over time it will dwindle. But even this exchange, the Chinese exchange here, it's picking up a little bit. They've all picked up a little. I mean, big Mt. Gox was really low. I don't know if these are bots or what's going on, but the volume is still somewhat there, so you never know. Okay, so let's end it off with Bitstamp now, being the platform that I might most likely trade. I don't know. I mean, they all seem to change. So, anyways, I guess I talked long enough. This concludes this episode here. I hope you liked it, and like, dislike, leave a comment, or even a video response. Until next time, stay tuned. Bye.